Pollution. P-O-L-L-P-O-L-L-U-T-I-O-N. Pollution. Pollution! There's lots of different types of pollution. From burning coal, you get sulphurous pollution that goes up into the air. Why do you burn coal? Who's burning coal? Well, every time you use your electricity, be it for your laptop, which doesn't use very much, or your toaster, which uses quite a lot, only for a short amount of time, and your kettle, a lot for a short amount of time. But the worst thing is your heater, and even worse, your air conditioner. It's on for hours, and it uses huge amounts of kilowatts each hour. Kilowatt hours, kilowatts times hours. That's what costs lots of money. That's what causes lots of pollution, because the electricity you use is made in the power stations. The power stations burn coal. Why do they burn coal? Because coal's the cheapest thing. It's getting the way that we're closing down coal-powered power stations as much as possible to limit the amount of pollution. Hydrogen sulfide and other sulfides, sulfur dioxide, going up into the air, making acid rain. And acid rain dissolving the minerals out of leaves and making the trees die. Not nice. So there's acid rain caused by power stations, caused by using too much electricity. Turn off the AC. And also carbon dioxide, which is warming the earth up, causing climate change, more storms, more snow. Even though it's climate change, global warming is a bit of a misnomer. Global climate change is better. It's actually the earth is getting warmer, but that's mixing up the weather and making it go crazy. That's the problem with carbon dioxide. Turn off the AC if you want to help. Don't be so wasteful. Don't buy 10 shirts and then throw half of them away before they're even properly worn out. And and put your washing outside to dry. It smells nicer, and it dries in the sun and the wind, and you're not using your dryer. That's another thing that costs lots of money, but even worse, causes lots of pollution. There's also pollution by driving your car. Use a bus, use a train, walk, take a bicycle. Don't go to the gym and use a bicycle there. Use a bicycle on your way to work or school. Be careful though, hat and safety gear, and try and use the cycle lanes. Anyway, because the air contains nitrogen, 80% nitrogen, inside the car. If it's a petrol or diesel car, there's petrol car, sparks in a petrol car, heat in a diesel car, and that makes the nitrogen react with oxygen. You get nitrous oxides, more acid rain. Leaves dissolve the minerals out, tree dies. Particles. There's also tiny little bits being made by diesel engines particularly, and also burning coal if you've not got scrubbers. Scrubbers are machines that are in the top of the tall towers as the carbon dioxide and the sulphurous oxides and the nitrous oxides. No, not nitrous oxides out of cow power. Sulphurous oxides out of the power station and carbon dioxide out of the power station. As it's going up, you've got scrubbers in the top that capture mostly just the particles. Particles, tiny little bits of mostly carbon floating around in the air, get breathed in. It's like smoking. You're smoking all the time if you live in Delhi in northern India and other cities. The cities where things are made. In China, where they make your mobile phone, lots of pollution, cadmium in the soil as well, because lots of heavy metals are used to make mobile phones. And oh dear, what are we going to do with all this pollution we've got left over? Just throw it in the river. It'll be fine. It'll land up in our food and our water. It'll all be fine. And the fish in the sea get all the pollution from making your mobile phone. Pollution. That's good. Let's try and keep it to a minimum. Also, tiny little microplastics, pollution in the sea. Throw away a plastic bag makes ripping to tiny little bits, ends up in fish, people eat it, ends up in people. We're doing an experiment right now to find out what happens if millions of people eat millions of pieces of microplastic every year. We don't know what that's going to do to you. I've stopped eating fish. I now eat walnuts to get my omega-3s. Pollution!